October 19th, 2015. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum?
Here.
Ms. Seymour?
Here.
Mr. Lance? Mr. Frazier?
Here.
Mr. Cruz?
Present.
Ms. Dorr?
Here.
We have 6 members present.
Thank you. Before we start the meeting, I understand that Mayor Don Fracassi had an envelope that was near the absentee voting booth, and he says it had his name on it. So if anyone saw that or by mistake picked it up, if you could please return that to him. Thank you. Let's all stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have quite a few items on our agenda as it relates to the consent agenda, and members of the audience wishing to speak under the communications portion. And we are conducting official business for the city of Southfield. We have many persons that have asked to speak this evening. And when we get to the communications portion of our agenda, we're going to ask that you stay within the allotted time. If you go over the time or cause any disruption or any disruptive behavior in this meeting, we will take a recess, give you a warning, and you will be removed from this meeting as we are conducting official business. We're also asking you to silence your cell phones at this time. First item on our agenda is a presentation, proclamation by Mayor Don Fracassi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor and a privilege for me to pass a proclamation in behalf of a gentleman that we know very well, who's been probably a household name in Parks and Recreation, both outside the city as well as being our Parks and Recreation Director for some time. And also is with us is Ian Cochran, Executive Director of the Michigan Recreation Parks Association. I'd like to have Bill and Ms. Cochran come forward, please. Anyways, it's trying to scare up. Anyways, whereas founded in 1935, the Michigan Recreation and Park Association, now known as MParks, exists to provide advocacy, resources, and professional development opportunities to prove that parks, recreation, and leisure services matter. And whereas Southfield resident William Bill Waterhouse began his career in the parks and recreation industry in 1981 as a recreation program coordinator for the city of Southfield. And he quickly moved up through the ranks to earn a position of Parks and Recreation Director, where he served with distinction until retirement in 2011. Whereas known for his passion for the parks and recreation profession, Bill earned the reputation as a trendsetter in the industry, established a partnership between the city and the Miracle League of Michigan to create the very first baseball field in the state for children with disabilities. And whereas an active member of Parks for more than 40 years, having served on numerous committees as just a volunteer, Bill's love of parks and recreation led to the Southfield Parks and Recreation Department to numerous awards and accolades. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Don Fracassi, of course, Mayor of the City of Southfield, and all those good things, and the list goes on and on, Bill, of all these individuals that would like to contribute their well wishes to you, do proclaim William Waterhouse Day in the City of Southfield, October 19th, 2015. I am so proud to have done this on behalf of the city to do this for Bill because not only has Bill been a Parks and Recreation Director, but he was also active in recreation himself. Not a very good baseball player. and I don't know, I gave up the 5K, 10K, I don't know, what are you running over? Oh, half marathon yesterday. Proving that recreation and leisure and parks are meaningful to him. And so Bill, I wanted to give this proclamation to you in honor of this day. It's October 19th, as Bill Waterhouse Day in the city of Southfield. And God bless you and the family.
Very much, and it is indeed an honor to be here. Our association had its Hall of Fame on October 1st, and we inducted our 65th member, Bill Waterhouse, into the Hall of Fame. So he's one of 65 former Parks and Recreation professionals who are now represented in the Hall of Fame. And the physical structure is in Canton, Michigan, and as the mayor indicated in all the wonderful things in the resolution, Bill did that for our profession. He's been a strong advocate. We are proud to have called him a member and now a retired member, and we welcome him to our Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Can't get me back up here and not say something, you know. Yes, my wife Ann, Cooper, I think the last time Cooper came to a council meeting, he was 4 months old. And that was when I got the fellowship award, which at that time said was the highest award. Well, we stepped up, I guess, one level higher. But it's certainly an honor to be recognized by a professional association that you've been involved with for 40 years. And it really doubles that honor to be recognized by the city that you had the opportunity to work there. I think one of the great things of that is to be able to represent the city of Southfield in the Hall of Fame. As Ann said, there's 65 members in the Hall of Fame now in an association that's been ongoing now for 80 years. So it's kind of a small group of people, and I feel very, very honored to be recognized. It's going to sound very cliche-ish, but you know, individual honors, as everybody that gets one says, obviously has a lot of people that work to help you get to that honor. And certainly tonight is about the city of Southfield and the people that were here. And the support that I got for the 30 years that I was here, from the city council, the elected officials, the administration, my Parks and Recreation Board, my staff, and probably first and foremost the citizens of this community who really stepped up in a lot of areas that we tried to make improvements in. And looking back on some of those, I just, you know, there were so many things that we did, and I think some of the special events we did, the Jazz Festival, the Kaleidoscope Circus, the Star Spangled Southfield fireworks, some of those, the Disney front lawn balloon takeoffs that we had with Mickey Mouse and Cinderella's Castle and all those kind of things that we did. But I think even more so, more of the lasting things that we've done for the city of Southfield. The Carpenter Lake acquisition and development was a huge project, and again, without city council's backing and being able to fund it through the state and the state DNR certainly helped us tremendously. The Bavarian property acquisition, another great piece of property that we have here in the city. Working with Oakland County and developing Catalpa Oaks, which I get by there on occasion, and to me that's developed into a really nice relationship, a good working relationship with the city, keeping it from being developed and actually keeping it as a county park. So those are some of the things that we did. The mayor mentioned the Miracle League, which is probably near and dear to my heart, that working with people, again, in the community like Steve Peck and Richard Bernstein, Tony Philippus, that really helped us develop that program and bring the Miracle League to the city of Southfield, along with some of the other programs that we've had, the wheelchair basketball program and those. So working with Scott Griffin on the youth center, the field zone, and now we combined with the Boys and Girls Club, and again, another great project that I think has really helped. And so much of the citizens, you know, I owe my thanks to the citizens of this community for all the support that they've given me. And I saw a lot of them today, and I want to say just thank you for saying hi. We miss you and hope things are well. So again, I want to thank everybody here for this honor. It's really a City of Southfield honor. I'm very honored to be able to represent the City of Southfield in the Michigan Recreation and Park Association Hall of Fame. So thank you very much.
Mr.
We have a few councilors
Mr.
that would like to say
Blount, Parks and Recreation. Come on up here. Parks and Rec, any other members of the commission? Shannon, come on forward, Jen, come on.
Councilwoman Seymour has some comments as well.
Rick Rocky is the Parks and Recreation Director, and I would just like to make him up here, bring him up here, and also, Jen, come on up here. Come on, say hello, dog.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to congratulate Bill. This is quite an honor in the recreation profession. Miss working with him on a daily basis. And what I liked most about working with Bill was he always trusted his staff to get from point A to point C. He didn't care how you got it done, what the point B was in the middle, as long as it was above board, under budget. So, congratulations.
Come on, say something. You could play ball. Yes.
No, I think he could. Even after his hip replacement. I think he could do it all. Yeah. I loved working with him for many, many years. And I'm going to be joining his newest club. I'm going to be retiring on Friday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks very much.
I want to say something. I was here when Bill was first proposed for the director of the Parks and Recreation Department, and Nita, Simone, and myself went in to interview. Remember that, Bill?
Yes, I do.
And we were a little bit concerned about how he would work with women. Was he going to be fair with women? There was a reason behind it. Anyway. I remember that meeting very, very clearly. I have to say, Bill, you've been the most creative person beyond measure. So people to say, as somebody else, no, Bill Waterhouse is creative, inventive. I think he's probably the finest Parks and Recreation Director over our history because he's so creative and just so dedicated and put more into the job than anyone. It's amazing the time has gone by that fast, but I want to say thank you, Bill, for all you've done. I'm so glad to see you back to get this award. It's just nice to see you and the family. But I still can picture that meeting with the three of us as if it was yesterday. And we were impressed, and you got the job, and the rest is history. So thank you.
I would echo my colleagues' comments in terms of when you started mentioning the field zone and Kaleidoscope Circus that was on the front lawn. That was such a premier event for the whole city and for families to enjoy. So we just want to congratulate you on your service and your award this evening. Thank you for your service in the city of Southfield.
I'd like to say something.
Mr. Frazier.
Yeah, Bill, isn't it nice to be called into the city council meeting, come to the microphone and have people say nice things about you? Correct.
Myron, when I said he's going to have to appear before council, he was shaking outside.
And we probably should add the word energetic with your young 5-year-old. So, all right, thank you so much.
Thanks. Madam President, the next item, which was going to be the extra mile day, that has been postponed. Now move on to the next proclamation, National Friends of Libraries Week. Could I have the Friends of the Library please all come forward and then here also? I had all the information that I had in the lobby outside that seemed to have disappeared. But let's go through this and let's talk about the gala, and we'll have to duplicate some of the papers. Go ahead.
Good evening, Council. My name is Yolanda Haynes, and I serve as president of the Southfield Friends of the Library. Here would be Nancy Peterson. She serves on our board, and Howard Aston, he serves on our board. And we also have our infamous city librarian, Dave Ewing. We also have some library board members here as well. Uni Rose and Deb Evans. You want to come on up?
Uni Rose, Deb Evans, library board members.
And we're in the
Lori Penn. Just night library.
Yes, library night. We're here to celebrate United Friends of the Library Week, and actually there was a proclamation, but I'll go ahead and just give you a little bit of information about what we do. First of all, the most important thing is the library. And we serve as a right arm to the library. Friends, we're a group of people where we gather together once a month. We meet to talk about ways we can help support the library. We do things such as our monthly book sale, and once in a while we have a bag sale, and we use the money or the funds from those books to pay for programs that we have at the library. That is our main source, our main income, besides the membership. And we have some council members that are members, and we would like for all of you to come on board as members, and membership supports those funds as well. We sponsor Jazz and Blues, where we have local artists come and play at the library, local blues artists, local jazz artists. We use those funds as well. And we don't really make money off the jazz and blues, but we pay the artists their money, and we offer it as a way for, if you're a member of the Friends, you pay $3, and if you're a non-member, you pay $5. And we have supported things as the Veterans Commission. We have an annual spell bowl where we have all kinds of teams. And for those of you out here that don't know about it, it's not a spelling bee, it's a spell bowl. You can take an organization such as the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society, and you come as a team. We give you the list ahead of time, so it's not hard to learn the words. And we've had some families that have learned all the words, but it's all to shame that they've won over the years. We take the money from those funds and we donate to the Veterans Commission. We also have the Battle of the Books, where we support that with funds for the kids as far as prizes and games and things of that nature. Now, our biggest fundraiser we're having this year is our first annual Fall Gala. And we're celebrating that in the week of the United Friends of the Library. This week is National United Friends of the Library Week, from the 18th to the 24th. And that's what we're talking about, basically libraries uniting together, friends supporting the libraries. And some libraries, we are very, very fortunate in this city to still have our library doing some of the things that it do, and to have a library. Because there are some places that do not have libraries, and they do not have libraries like ours. I have gone to various cities, and wherever I go, we visit libraries. And when I mention that I'm from Southfield, people always talk about our library, because they hear about the magnificent things that we do at our library, and our library as well. And when they come here, they want to see the library. I even bring people here to the library and take them on tours when they come to visit our city. We're asking all the members of the council, the city, citizens, residents, business people to support us in our first event. It takes place on Thursday, October 22nd. It starts at 6:30. Tickets are $50 for members of the Friends. If you're a non-member, it's $60, but that also entitles you to a membership for a year. We will have a harpist, we will have live jazz, nice food, and we have tons of nice raffle prizes. And I'll just give you a little pointer, a little hint. We have Kindle as one of the prizes, and I just say that today because we were doing the raffle prizes today. And on Wednesday, so you guys gotta come. And on Wednesday, we're having the annual Friends of the Library meeting. Those are for members of the library. And it's basically where we talk about what we do. A lot of people give money, but they don't know where the money's going. When you come to the meeting, you see the board, you hear where our money's going, what we're doing with the money, and you learn more about the Friends. It's also going to be a very nice occasion. I would like to thank all of the people that have supported the Friends and those that are members, and I hope that Dave talk a little bit more about the library.
I won't say a whole lot because you covered most everything I was thinking of, but anyone who would like a ticket to the gala is more than welcome to get one from either myself or Yolanda or any of the board members. I would just point out that despite us having had some financial issues, our library is still one of the greatest in Michigan. And we still attract A-name guests, and I would ask you to put November 4th on your calendar also, because we're going to have Leonard Pitts Jr. come and speak. And he is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, and we're excited to have him come and talk to us. And of course, the library is always willing to help in most any informational needs you might have. Our bookstore that we use to sell books for the Friends has just moved upstairs. It is in the old cafe space, and so we'd be happy to have you come in and take a look at that. And we have a new service that we just started on, I believe it was October 1st. It's called Zinio, and it is a way that you can actually get an app on your computer or on your laptop or on your phone, and you can have access through your library card to 289 magazines at any time without charging you a penny, and you don't have to worry that somebody else is taking it out because it's concurrent use. So 20 of us could have the same magazine at the same time. And it's one way that we're trying to combat the idea that many magazines who used to be in publication are no longer printing. I think that's enough. It's going to be a long meeting anyway, folks. Please come join us on Thursday at the gala. We really look forward to that.
Where can we get the tickets?
We'll have the tickets available tonight. We'll have the tickets tonight and at the library. At the library. They have the ribbon cutting as well at the library for the same night of the game. Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda under presentations is that of Mr. Greg Kazuda. If he's available, I did see him earlier today, the owner of the Southfield Pancake House. And I wanted him to come and introduce himself to the community. He's a new business owner in our city.
How are you doing, everybody? Glad to be a part of the city of Southfield. I've been resident here for 5 years, and I recently opened a restaurant in Southfield 12 Mile. It was formerly known as the Dietrich's Pancake House. He retired, and I just happened to bump into him one day, and he said, "Hey, this is for you if you want it." So everything's been going good. I'm meeting a lot of people from Southfield, and I like hiring Southfield residents and people in the neighborhood. So I'm trying to build that bond between neighborhood and work. Everything's been working out good. Just want to welcome you to come check us out, and maybe I'll be on that side one day.
Okay, could you give us the exact name, the address, and location?
Southfield Pancake House, 29295 Southfield.
And give us the hours of operation.
Between 1 mile.
So quick span.
1 block north of 12
Okay,
Mile.
got it.
All right, so with the watch bands.
Watch bands and Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, very good. Welcome to the community and glad to have
Hours
you.
are 8 to 4, Monday through Sunday.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I've been there 3 times.
Okay, thank you for coming. The next item on the presentation agenda is that of Pace Academy. And they're not here. Okay, so we'll move to the approval of the minutes.
Madam Chair?
Mr. Frazier.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 20th, 2015, Committee of the Whole meeting of August 17th, 2015, and a regular meeting of August 24th, 2015. Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Frazier, supported by Mr. Cruz to approve the minutes as indicated. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move to the consent consent portion of our meeting. Are there any items, council, that you would like to have pulled from the consent agenda? I would like to have consent agenda item H and consent agenda item L pulled. I'll just vote on, we'll take a separate vote on those separately. H. Consent agenda item A is a liquor license request for SNZ Investment LLC doing business as Fuddruckers Restaurant. Consent agenda item B is a liquor license request for Evergreen Hills Golf Course. Consent agenda item C is the Resource Recovery and Recycling Authority of Southwestern Oakland County and to adopt amended articles of incorporation. Consent agenda item D is the agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County for the winter road maintenance agreement in the amount of the city's cost of $90,728.83. Consent agenda item E is the proposed moratorium extension of the oil and gas extraction and mining operations. Consent agenda item F is the approval to purchase de-icing salt for the 2015 and 16 and 2016 and 17 fiscal years in the amount of $702,453 for 2015 and 16 and $720,903 for 2016, 17. Consent agenda item G is the receipt of bids on the printing for the 2015 annual report, 2016 calendar for the Community Relations Department, given to Dearborn Lithograph of Livonia, Michigan, in the amount of $25,238.70. We're going to remove consent agenda item H and we'll go to I. And that's the authorization to sell vacant real property on Greenfield Road for the amount of $55,000. Consent agenda item J is receipt of bids for paper, hand towels, and tissue products for the facility maintenance department in the amount of $39,559.80. Consent agenda item K is a request to amend the commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate application for Versa Development located at 29201 Telegraph. Consent agenda item M is the purchase of Point Blank Vision Alpha 80 threat level 3A concealable vest for the police department in the amount not to exceed $55,031.25. Consent agenda item N is authorization to sell 2-door patch. Seek bids to purchase hot mix batch plants and use proceeds of the sale from the door patch for the purchase of the others. We'll entertain a motion at this point.
Before the motion, I think on item D, I think the cost is $152,996.17 rather than $90,720. I think that's the 90,000 is what RCC puts in. If I'm correct. If I read it correct.
That's an average city cost per year. I think it was correct.
Says the city's anticipated net cost after the RCOC allocation is $152,966.17, and the $90,728.83 is from RCOC.
Okay, that's fine.
Councilman Frazier, that is correct. The 90,000 is the payment from Oakland County to the city of Southfield for maintenance of those streets.
Okay. I just want to make sure that if someone was watching it and they saw the number later on, they didn't challenge us on the number.
That's no problem.
Okay. Madam Chair,
Mr. Frazier.
I move that we approve consent agenda items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, J, K, M, and N.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Frazier, supported by Mr. Buckingham, to approve the agenda items as noted. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the first one I had some concerns about was the receipt of bids for tables, chairs, and other event-related fixtures, and I was wondering if by any chance we could, and I talked with our purchasing agent, if we could establish a list of vendors that individuals that rent the building and use our facilities could choose from, as opposed to being locked into these two companies, if that's an option.
I'm aware that you spoke with our purchasing agent, Nikki Lumpkin.
I think it makes sense.
Right now, and I don't, I'm aware that the council presidents did speak with Nikki Lumpkin, our purchasing agent, about could we allow other people to select other vendors from Parks and Rec. And I think Ms. Lumpkin wanted to go back to Parks and Rec and find out if that was something agreeable to the department. And, you know, basically we'd be opening it up that we'd have multiple people coming in to the building. And I don't know if Parks and Rec gave us an answer on that. I got this information late Friday.
Okay, all right, so if we could just get that researched and give us a final answer as to, in the near future, if that can be an option for persons that are renting our facilities.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So let's take a vote on this one. This is the receipt of bids for tables, chairs, and other related fixtures. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The other item I had a concern with was receipt of bids to provide electrical services for facilities maintenance departments. I'm voting no on this one, so I wanted a separate vote for this as well. So we'll entertain a motion at this time.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion by Ms. Seymour, supported by Mr. Frazier. Do you have any questions, Mr. Manuel?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes our consent agenda portion. We have no public hearings. Mr. Crowe, so you can break this. No site plans, and now we're moving to the communications portion of the agenda, which I'm going to turn it over to President Pro Tem, Ms. Seymour.
Madam President Pro Tem, I have two names to add to the list of communications. Uni Rose and Lori Van. Yes.
The first person on the, to be recognized is Mr. Daniel Brightwell. And before we introduce your name and address, name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Madam Chair, my name is Dan Brightwell, 27140 Fairfax Street, 48076. I'm here today to talk about an event that I presented last month. And I got such a response on our veteran line here in the city switchboard, and also I got several calls at home. But in my 3 minutes, I will be covering a couple of issues that we covered on a 4-hour seminar, which will be held on April 14th, 2015 in our Parks and Rec building, room number 115. That'll be the Veterans Seminar, informational seminar, which we've done for 10 years now. This is the 30th Veteran Informational Seminar. It's on the 15th, so the individuals who arrive there, they will feel good about paying their taxes on the next day because of all the benefits they're getting as veterans. The next thing I want to talk about is pretty much the ID card, the Veterans ID card that is presented by the Oakland County Clerk's Office. All you need to, this is for our veterans who are not driving, who do not have their driver's license. You get a Veterans ID card from the city, from the Oakland County City Clerk's Office for $10. This card will identify you as a veteran. And the primary for having that card is veterans get extreme number of benefits, free items from Home Depot, Lowe's, and you also get things from Ford, GE, and this is for the veterans primarily who are without a driver's license. And if you are a veteran with a driver's license, you can now apply to have your driver's license amended to show that you are a veteran so that you can present this to vendors. And then I did get quite a few calls about this. The other item that I want to bring up, which I spoke about, was burial benefits for veterans. Veterans and their dependents and spouses are entitled to be for free burial at Holly Cemetery. Again, this item is covered in our April 14th seminar, and the guy from Holly normally gets the most questions because the spouses are there. But the bottom line is the spouses, dependents, are entitled to be buried for free at the Holland Cemetery if you are a veteran. And that's the extent of it. Last time we got quite a few calls now online here. Let me give you that number, 248-796-4838. That's the Veterans Information Line here in the city of Southfield switchboard. And feel free to give me a call as I have if you haven't been doing. Okay.
Council, do you have any questions?
I just wanted to ask Dan, with that veteran ID card, can that be used for voting purposes as well? Or maybe that's to the clerk, I'm not sure, but is it considered valid identification to vote?
Well, I have one, but I'm not sure whether the clerk would use it as a valid ID. It's issued by, although Mrs. Banks probably has perhaps more about it than I do.
This is the first time I've heard of the card, but is a picture on it?
Yes.
If the picture and the name and the address is on it, I'm sure that would be accepted as ID for voting purposes.
Yes, and the clerk verifies, you have to, as I probably presented before, the veteran will have to present a copy of their discharge paper, DD 214. That's an authentic piece of paper from your military branch, and that indicates you have been discharged. The clerk will verify that, and they will make it a certified copy of that document, and now if you take a picture, you get a copy of the card. So along with that, it serves that purpose. And it's primarily for the veterans who might not be able to, who are not driving. And if you have a driver's license, obviously you will get your driver's license from the Secretary of State. And now Michigan just started last year issuing the veterans license, which comes in handy. So the bottom line of it is, come out to my seminar on April the 14th. It's from 12 to 4 o'clock. It's open to veterans and their spouses. And you find out all the good free things you get for serving, keeping America safe as a veteran. Thank you.
The next person is Ms. Sheila Gay. And give us your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Gaddy, 26701 Albert Point. On behalf of the Villas of Pebble Creek Association, I would like to thank the council for recognizing our association with a Community Pride Award, and Councilmember Baum for extending his personal congratulations. The Board of Directors has worked very hard during the past 2 years to restructure our financial practices, and we are now turning our attention to the revitalization of our common areas. The Community Pride Award CD has certainly been a source of inspiration. I would like to ask the council to consider reinstating the Community Pride Award category for businesses. We have several million-dollar corporations such as Family Dollar along 12 Mile and Northwestern Highway that do the bare minimum to keep their grounds maintained. In fact, we have called code enforcement on numerous occasions about Family Dollar's grounds. Businesses in Southfield should do their part to enhance the city of Southfield. Code enforcement, along with the incentive of a Community Pride Award, just might be the right combination to influence businesses to do a better job of maintaining their property.
Next person is Ms. Pamela.
Pamela Gerald, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-346-0439. I just wanted to thank the League of Women Voters for having a candidates forum this past week in the library meeting room. More importantly, I want to applaud the organization for having courage for their convictions, and that is to not allow any negativity. I think it was appalling that Pastor Jordan resorted to what you normally do, and that's to talk about people in such a negative fashion to the point that they admonished you for it, and then allow Mr. Cyber to respond to that. I think it just shows that as much as you think that you're a leader, you're a person that loves to abuse power. You have an issue with me, and the only way that you can resolve the issue is to use our police department to put me out because you got a personal vendetta against me. Now, don't forget that you accused me of being on your opponent's campaign, being paid to be rude to you and to attack your character. I'm not sure what character you're referring to, but nevertheless, you said it. And remember, you were at church Sunday as a candidate. Remember all the things that that pastor said. And when you sit back there momentarily, I want to make sure that you remember he said the 7th item on his list was to listen and listen respectfully. I want to ask you on the record, do you have any knowledge of all of the negative campaigning, and do you have any idea who's been doing it? And has it been done on your behalf? Now, if you are this pastor and this leader, you can admonish it and say, no. You can have no comment, and people will continue to be a little concerned about it. Residents, I want to thank you so much for all of your calls, for watching the meetings, and for letting me know that Southfield matters to you, and we're not going to tolerate any race baiting or anything negative surrounding this election. How much time do I have left? Okay, I thank my person out there for keeping track of the time. And the other thing I wanted to say is, I see a lot of employee names on the list. Employees, I am proud of you. The residents are proud of you. Keep speaking up. We're behind you 1,000%. Thank you.
The next person is Mr. Gerard Mullen. And you have 3 minutes, Mr. Mullen.
Gerard Mullen, Post Office Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037. Over 2 years ago, to be precise, on June 17, 2013, you, Reverend Jordan, declared me, Gerard Mullen, a non-resident at the televised council meeting that evening. And to top it off, you, Pastor Jordan, claimed that you had documentation that proves that I am a non-resident. It has been over 28 months now, and you, Pastor Jordan, have yet to produce any documentation. Let us see this documentation tonight. Your documentation tonight. You couldn't possibly have such documentation tonight. Because I am and always have been a resident of Southfield continuously up until this very moment since 1968. 47 years and still counting. I offer the following as proof that I am a Southfield resident. Madam President, would you please ask Councilman Cruz, who is sitting to your immediate right, and who you, Madam President, personally endorsed for council in 2013, the following question tonight. Dr. Cruz, did you place 2 of your yard signs for your election to this council in Mr. Mullins' front yard at his Southfield residence on or about 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, September the 2nd, 2015? 26 months after I, Pastor Jordan, declared Mr. Mullen a non-resident. Yea or nay, Dr. Cruz, yea or nay? Madam President, let me repeat this critical question that you need to ask Dr. Cruz tonight. Dr. Cruz, did you place 2 of your yard signs for your election to this council?
Time is up. Thank you. The next person to speak is Ms. Geraldine Amato. And please give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Geraldine Amato. There's many things I'd like to say in the 3-minute time. I don't have enough, but there's a couple of authors I'd like to cite that you might want to review. The Life of an American Jew in Marxist Racist Israel by Jack Bernstein, published in 1984. I made one excerpt from his book. If the Zionists, namely the Pharisees, ever succeed in imposing gun control on the American people, there will be nothing to stop them from a complete takeover of America. I urge you to read the speech of Patrick Henry in the Constitutional Convention of 1788 in Virginia, June 5. He brings out the fact that the federal Constitution, which was on the verge of being passed at that time and he objected, was going to change the character of the militia. He says, by this, sir, you will see that Congress's control over our last and best defense is unlimited. If they neglect or refuse to discipline or arm our militia, they will be useless. The states can do neither, this power being given exclusively to Congress. This flag that we worship at the beginning of these meetings represents not the Republic, but the Federal Reservation. And you'll see a lot of the dynamics that those people who control the federal government used against the Native American, or Aboriginal Americans here at the time are being used against us all. Any of us who can be bought are being bought. Our economy is owned by the international bankster cartels, or cartel. The resources of all the world have been sapped and people have been destroyed in many places so that we here can have the illusion of prosperity. It's been written that, very aptly, even when a person has a lot of wealth, the quality of that person's life does not consist in the abundance of their possessions. We are told that Thomas Jefferson is a hypocrite and that he took a slave as a mistress. The fact is, in Virginia at the time, a white man could not marry a black woman or a slave legally. I urge you to read the rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. They say that Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. He wrote the rough draft, and it was edited. Thank you, I know it. More important things need to be discussed here than the status of our lives in this point in history. You don't understand history because I'm trying to share what I have.
Council, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Well, good evening. You should invite me over here for one of these, lengthy discourses at the beginning of the meeting so I can elaborate on what I'm trying to talk about.
You have 3 minutes. You have the same as anybody else.
To discuss what I need to discuss and try to impart to you.
The next person is Miss Stephanie English.
Are we taking a 5-minute recess?
No, we are not.
Oh,
Before I start, what is the proper procedure? If I want to enter documents into the minutes, do I pass them to you,
Pass them to
the
the
chair?
clerk.
Good evening, Stephanie English, 24011 Wildbrook Court, Southfield 48034. Very quickly, this is going to be an invitation to Councilwoman Jordan to go over findings that show substantial connection that the Jordan campaign is responsible or behind the racist and homophobic flyers against Ken Cyber. Today I had a news conference on the steps of City Hall with WDIV, Fox 2, WXYZ, CBS, and this afternoon I was contacted by the editor of The Observer to have this information delivered. Since I am making these allegations, and I have been over the last 6 weeks doing an extensive investigation of this, I want the opportunity to meet with you directly so that I can deliver my findings to you. I am here to say I have professionally prepared through an extensive investigation that shows substantial physical information linking the Jordan campaign to the racist flyers. This is not an adequate forum to go over it. I'm not trying to sensationalize it here at the council meeting. I'm trying to alert. This is not a smear campaign. This is an opportunity for voter education. I have passed through the chair an executive summary detailing my findings over the last 6 weeks. But it is fair to actually meet directly with you to deliver those findings because I am going to stand by those assertions. Again, you have my telephone number. I am available. But I would like the voters in Southfield to know that this particular investigation was launched because there was a request by the MLK Task Force and the city at large to find out who was responsible. And I do not do this with sensationalism. I do this as voter education. I think that it is correct that the voters know about the candidates and who wants to sit in the mayor's seat. So I conclude my statements with that invitation directly to you, Councilwoman Jordan, you or any members of your campaign staff, as soon as possible because this information did go out with a major news conference. I don't know what stations it'll be launched on. They probably will want to conference with you based on the findings that I'm alleging, and I welcome either a private conversation or a public conversation. Anyone within the viewing audience can contact me directly for the details.
The next person is Mr. Corey Relton. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And sir, name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Corey Roden. I live at 3116 Electric Avenue in Lincoln Park, Michigan. I'm not only a 16-year employee for the city of Southfield, but I'm also the TPOA and union president. I'm here to represent all city of Southfield employees here this evening. We're here for the same reason that we've been at previous meetings, to voice many concerns that we have. not only concerns of the employees, but the taxpayers as well. We'd like to speak up for them as well, because we hear a lot from those folks. We're concerned over many poor decisions that have been made by many of the city leaders that have been made as of late especially. We see recent decisions that have been made at the cost of taxpayers, millions of dollars, and they aren't necessarily necessary things, are they? We see we've had many expensive purchases made for unnecessary things. To start off with, we know of the Boy Bear statue and some of the other artwork that was purchased for the amount of $500,000, sits in cold storage many months later. And when the city still can't figure out exactly what to do with that, can we? We have across the street a piece of property that was bought for some $3.5 million. Still sits vacant, the city can't figure out what to do with it. And apparently now the city is involved in real estate, something that is frowned upon when you start competing with the private sector. We also have now our most recent purchase of Northland Mall, if it's gone through at this time, of $2.5 million, with approximately some $8 to $10 million for that to be demolished. That's as long as there's no additional or unforeseen problems that come up with that. Not to mention the question arises that we've become aware of that is reported that there's been some $7.8 million that the city's been able to set aside for such properties. Set aside within just 2 years. We find that quite interesting considering that the city consistently tells some of us that they have no money to take care of other things. The taxpayers are being asked for money over and over again, and the employees are being told what? We're being told over and over again, we have no money to take care of the guaranteed benefits that were promised to us, or to take care of any raises so that we can take care of basic necessities and take care of our families. While at the same time, the city is spending money like it's their own piggy bank. We have a big problem that the city faces in amongst many number of its city leaders. Many, not all. We do have some leaders that are no longer effective and have not been effective in a very long time. There are leaders amongst this city that sit here this evening. And at the same time, we do have a few that are very effective and very progressive leaders that we have that need some additional help. But there's a great opportunity that's upon each and every one of you taxpayers here this evening. This is your city. It's not their city. They're spending your money.
Sir, I'm sorry, but your time is up. Thank you.
And at the same time, you know what? We're never going to give up. The employees are going to support these people, and we're going to help them take back their city so that we have some true leaders here.
The next person to speak is Violet Relton. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Violet Relton, at same address as my dad. My dad is Corey Relton, and he has worked for the city 16 years. He has not had a raise for 8 years. We don't go on vacations anymore or do other things. I want to let you know these things because me and my sick mom have a question. Why won't you do something to help my dad take care of us better so we can pay for things we had? Thank you.
The next person is Joseph Persons. That individual here, Joseph Person. Seeing none, Mr. Charles Gilliam.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Gilliam. I am precinct elected delegate of Southfield, Michigan, precinct 18. Address of P.O. Box 2443, Southfield, Michigan 48037. Good evening, everybody. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if our city administrator, I listened to him this evening at 6, how good our city's doing right now. They're doing real good. I'm very proud of them. But next month, the holidays come up. Oh, wouldn't it be so good if he said, you know what, you're surprised. Our city workers all gonna get a bonus. I can't keep it a secret so much longer. Wouldn't that be nice if you say that I found some restricted money just for you guys? because you haven't had a raise in almost a decade now. I don't know how you guys make it. The sales North Lane, I was just kind of hoping that the women, and when they opened up to other business, I had no idea that our city was the only one bidding on it. If you could just take some binoculars and go up there on that site right now and look across Greenfield over there where Pier 1 used to be, or Farmer Jack used to be. They had some kind of hardware store over there. I know they had a bank over there. So I went over there about 20 years ago myself to that bank over there. And they said, yeah, Mr. Gillum, you qualify for an automobile loan, but you want a Cadillac, an Escalator, what do you want? I said, Lord, you kind of confused. I don't want no $80,000 car loan. I would just like a couple $1,000 open up a business. They said, oh, I don't know about you being a businessman. But you know, they took all that down over there. They told the people over there, they're going to put some senior citizen houses over there, sitting on the other side over there. And they told them that, some of you citizens open up, do nails over there with the new businesses give over there. Don't they ring a bell? Just a few months ago, somebody told me the same thing, but I couldn't believe it. They said over here on South, North Land, the same thing. We're going to put some shout out there for the citizens here. You can do nails and polish your fingernails up here. You know what? That little team y'all got over there, one of those, when you do rebuild this over here, that'd be $10,000 a month rent to these guys, these new investors gonna come in. That's what they're probably going for, $10,000 for you guys who want to do some nails. They ban it. But anyway, restricted money. I know businessmen don't give you no money to restrict anything. You mean the taxpayers restricted money. You know, the Pontiac Silverdome, they bought them for $500,000. Down in Detroit, bailed out, $1 for 30 years. I can't understand where this $2.5 million come from. You could have got there for maybe $1. $1, that's what you're going for down in Southeast Michigan. Don't give our money away. You could have got that North there for $1. Thank you for hearing me out.
The next person requesting recognition is Sally Price.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I promise not to be that loud. My name is Sally Price. I work in the engineering department. I've been with the city of Southfield 25 years. I'm also here tonight as our chief steward and part of the executive board for the TPOAM, which puts me at the forefront of employee issues and concerns. Therefore, tonight I'm going to talk about the well-being of our TPOAM members. I'm not here as a disgruntled employee. I love being part of the city of Southfield family. But in the last decade, we believe the opinion of the employee has drastically changed. Once we were considered your most valuable asset. Today, there are many employees that believe we are anything but valuable. I know I speak for most TPM employees when I say we totally understand not getting raises for 8 years if we truly believe that the city was in a financial crisis. But we all know that actions speak louder than words. Over the past 5 years, we have seen many in management positions receive large raises, retro pay, and promotions. Many TPOM employees have tried to get changes as a result of taking on more responsibility due to the city workforce being cut through attrition, and most have been declined for one reason or another. Some cannot even get their requests looked at. We've watched the city make expensive purchases. They continue to say there is no money. Certain departments can hire new employees, while other departments have dedicated employees that have been working full-time at this city as non-career employees over a decade with receiving no benefits. I would like to reiterate that actions speak louder than words. Once upon a time, we were recognized for our service milestones. Tonight, I would like to read an introduction to an Appreciation Service Award that we used to receive. It says, "Congratulations. In celebrating your special anniversary, we recognize the valuable contributions you've made to the city of Southfield. The Service Award Program has been established as an expression of appreciation for your years of continuous and diligent service to the City of Southfield. These individual and collaborative efforts have resulted in the city's reputation for quality service to our residents. We believe that our most valuable asset is our employee, and we trust your service with the city has been pleasant and rewarding. As we prepare to observe a major milestone in your career with the city, we wish to express our gratitude for all you have done. Like your service, may your award and the gratitude it expresses be enhanced through time. Sincerely, City Administration. So I asked, what's changed? Why has your opinion of the employee changed? Because the one thing that I know that hasn't changed is the dedication of these employees. Thank you.
Miss Paralee Burgess.
Good evening. My name is Paralee Liddell Burgos. I live at 23882 Sargent Avenue. And I'm back again to bring the parking lots back in the forefront. For the last few nights, I've been watching, hearing noises in the back. The fence is not repaired. Some of the houses are in disrepair, and these are all the church homes that's supposed to, by putting in the parking lot, somehow improve the value of our neighborhood, but it's not happening. Sargent Avenue is going through a difficult time because of the decision voted to put in parking lots, to put parking lots in the backyards and in between houses. That is the most ridiculous, excuse my language, stupidest thing I ever see. And the council persons that voted for it should be ashamed of themselves. I have no ill feelings towards anyone if they do the right thing. But in your hearts, Lori Cruz, Council Acting President Sylvia Jordan, you know that this vote was about friendship. It wasn't about the standards of Southfield. It wasn't about the residents. It was about what you wanted at that time to try to get what you needed from whomever. And I'm very, very disappointed that you're not hearing your residents. Hear your residents. We voted for you. Listen to them. Listen to our complaints. Fix the problem. Fix the situation that you allowed to happen on Sargent Avenue. Correct your mistake. Man up or woman up. Fix the problem. Because it's not, we're not good neighbors, I'll put it that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Mr. Chris Campbell. Name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Good evening, Madam President, esteemed council, honorable mayor, Madam Clerk, city administrator, and city attorney. My name is Chris Campbell, and I'm a nearly 15-year city employee here. Writer and producer for Southfield Multimedia Services, home of City Cable 15, and secretary and negotiations committee member for Southfield T-Home, the largest employee group in the city. I'd like to start off by responding first to various statements made by the city administrator and city attorney who have been implying that we are a disgruntled group of employees who are bargaining or negotiating out in public. First off, we are not negotiating in public, but we are engaging in an awareness campaign advocating for issues and concerns that impact Southfield employees. If we were truly negotiating, we'd be hitting you with facts and figures related to raises, healthcare, and the like. And our concerns are not personal. It's all based on principle, and the principle is this. In 2008, the average T-Home employee was bringing home 80 cents on the dollar, which is 80% of their net income. In 2015, that figure is 54 cents on the dollar, or 54% of our net income, which represents a 26% dip. The informational package that we're distributing tonight contains graphics and charts which illustrate this conundrum. Now, when bargaining with the city, we're told by the city's bargaining representatives that while they wish that they could give us raises, The city has absolutely no money for raises. But now these words are not consistent with all the money that we see flowing to all the numerous people and projects, and it constitutes mixed messaging from a PR perspective to the employees. Simply put, if the city truly didn't have any money, it wouldn't have the money to make these acquisitions, period, end of story. We've also seen an unprecedented amount of money flowing to various endeavors such as the purchase, demolition, and remediation of Northland Mall, $500,000 put towards the Boy and the Bear statue from said mall, multi-million-dollar purchases of huge parcels of land such as across the street, and sizable raises being given to selected and favored employees, and we could go on and on. Now, to the city's bargaining representatives, all of whom have already had their raises and their salary increases, we ask you this. How would you feel if all these purchases were being made and you hadn't gotten your raises? Now, other cities such as Royal Oak, Detroit, Rochester Hills, Madison Heights, and Novi, and many more have been investing in their employees and giving them raises. Some even have longevity payoffs, stipends, or bonuses. There's even a section in the informational packet which outlines the communities giving raises to their employees. But this situation isn't totally about raises. It's about value and investment. A popular businessman once said that if you really want to get ahead, invest in people. Now, a commonality that we share is that we all want Southfield to be a great city, but you can't be great if you're not investing in employees. So my question to you is this: how great do you truly want the city to be?
Marilyn Gilbert. Is Marilyn Gilbert?
Hello, my name is Marilyn Gilbert. I live at 25760 Code Road, Southfield, 48033. And coming after these issues, these seem maybe not quite as important as what the employees have had to say this evening. But there were three things I wanted to mention. To Ms. Amato, I do agree with you, Ms. Amato, on several issues that you bring up. We are a wasteful society. We waste people, we waste food, we waste building materials. I agree with you that we need more green space. We need more natural areas and less commercialization. I also agree that our decisions are becoming less in our own control. But really, Ms. Amato, we are tired of hearing the same message over and over again and feel that it's rather selfish and self-centered of you to bring this up so much of the time. And all that happens is that we don't listen anymore. At the last meeting, when there were several public hearings, you spoke many times, and I think people just...
I object to some of these in their time.
I'm done with that. The second thing I'd like to mention is in line with what Mr. Frazier mentioned at the last meeting, and that's to commend the Park Services people who have done a wonderful job with the landscaping. I really appreciate seeing all the beauty around the building with the varying seasons. I also live right near Civic Center Drive, and I believe they work on that area as well, and the Berg. So I'd like to thank them for that. However, I do have a question as to what is going on at the entrance to the Parks and Rec portion of the building. I come twice a week in the evenings for my aerobics class, and the last many months there's been the container out there, the waste container, and I don't really see any progress, and I'm not really sure what is happening there. And I know when we come out, we start to say, well, what's the deal? Nothing's changed, and also it's dark there. How long is that going to go on? My third issue that I wish to bring up is the upcoming election. In light of Ms. Amato's point that it's true we have less control over decisions that we make sometimes in our own lives, I think it's really important to vote on November 3rd in the local elections, because there you do have some very direct say. And I didn't get to come to the candidates forum, but I listened to the candidates forum, and I was very impressed with the candidates that are running. They seem excellent, they seem thoughtful, they seem informed. And I feel that council is a demanding job, and I hope that people listen to those are able to get that on our Channel 15 and are able to listen to the League of Women Voters forum or the other forums and vote November 3rd and an informed vote.
The next speaker requested Mr. Fred Bunker. Mr. Bunker? Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. I skipped one. This was Mr. and Ms. Angel Burgos. Hi. Is it Angel? Angel. Okay, good.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. I'm here tonight just to say that I wanted to welcome Lance back to City Council. It's great seeing you back, sir, and hope you're feeling a lot better and you're looking good. And the second thing is, again, what my wife stated earlier, that March the 23rd of 2015, New York Baptist Church, with 8,000 square feet of parking in our backyards. Ms. Jordan, you, Mr. Cruz, voted for this. And your names keep popping up, Ms. Jordan, Ms. Jordan, Ms. Jordan. And I don't know when it's going to stop, but I think as of November the 3rd, that these people know who to vote for, it should stop. Again, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Lance, great seeing you. And you left a lot, these footsteps that you left for Southfield, ain't nobody's going to take them footsteps away. You left a big imprint in this city. You've done a lot for these people, the residents, the company stuff. Everything that Southfield needed, you did it. And I gotta say, you're an honor, and it's an honor to stand here in front of you to say thank you. Thank you for all the work you've done, and hoping to see you again after November the 3rd. Thank you.
Mr. Fred Bunker. Your next speaker.
Bunker 24201. I'm glad Mr. Angel rather spoke what I had to say about Mr. Lance and the fine quality of person he's been in the 24 years I've lived in this city. To see someone who seemed to understand the residents' needs rather than the white tax abatement obligation the rest of this council has taken on and has never opposed. Mr. Frazier here is one of those. Mr. Cruz seems on the same. The two candidates running for mayor, that's all they've ever done, approve tax breaks for white people. Ms. Jordan, the first year she was elected, 97, Lear needed $3 million. There she was. Every day since until they went bankrupt. She gave them $51 million in tax breaks, along with cyber, this brownfield tax grant. It's appalling, the use of these tax breaks, not to benefit residents. We don't see a list of how many jobs have been created for residents at these tax abatements. We never have, we never will. The city attorney will not make that information available. I'm more upset about this recent school that we had a public hearing for on 12 Mile. They built a 13-acre parking lot across the street from me and never had a review of the site plan, let alone a public hearing. Where is the law in this city? How do you build schools? Do you have a public hearing and a site plan? Or do site plans show up in Lansing filled out by employees? That's how it was done across the street from me. And I had a 13-acre parking lot with school buses purchased by that money we don't have except to buy Northland. We're buying school buses. 6 and 7 of the buses that leave that school every day cart one child back and forth. This is the nightmare of that school you built without a public hearing, without a site plan, because there was 4 site plans submitted by the time that school was built. 4 site plans for a 13.69 acre piece of property, and each one of them describes a different amount of acreage. enhancing the previous site plan application, if you will. Michigan doesn't look into these things. They say you got 46.5 acres to build 2 schools on. We'll support that. Then 2 weeks back in August, I saw a site plan where residents were allowed to show up and voice their concerns about a 13-acre parking lot being built in their neighborhood. We never had that chance because the current leadership, including Jordan and Cyber and the rest of this council, have done us bad. They don't represent residents. The best thing you can do is not vote.
Mr. Bunker,
What?
you're waiting beyond your time. You're supposed to, you know that.
Time?
Yes.
3 minutes. Somebody
Yes.
can make a rational discussion. I can't get a question answered. Mr. Cruz had an answer, the question answered. You can't spend a second, 10 seconds to answer a question. We used to be able to ask questions and get answers in this city. I know, no more, no more. It's a secret society.
You don't need comments from the audience. The next person to speak is Sarah Marie Himes Laheka. I hope I didn't mispronounce that.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Hello. My name is Sarah Marie Himes Laheka. I live at 27355 Brush Street, Madison Heights, Michigan, 48071. I'm the producer director for Southfield News, which is a part of our City of Southfield Cable 15, also known as Southfield Multimedia Services, and we are the local channel. I am also a member of TPOM. I've worked for the City of Southfield for more than 5 years, and I call this place my second home. I spend more time with my Southfield family than I do with my own. I'm here today to represent my second home and my second family, the Southfield employees. With all of the negativity surrounding the great city of Southfield, I wanted to bring some positivity into light and mention just a few of the many amazing things that we, the employees, have done for the city and our community. As a part of my job for the city, I attend and visually document the wonderful events that happen around the city through the lens of my camera, including our wonderful Parks and Recs department that had just wrapped up their cute yet frightening Boo at the Berg. This past Saturday, the Human Services Department held a march against domestic violence that educated and empowered men, women, and children. The Southfield Public Library continuously hosts events that encourages youth to read and provide a safe, educational, fun, and friendly environment for people of all ages. I had the wonderful opportunity to interview and learn about our top-notch, brave, and skilled public safety officers at a recent Citizens Academy class that has helped build a better understanding between the community and our Southfield law enforcement. There are so many other departments and people that I have met that have kept this city growing and alive. And I have had the pleasure of meeting most, if not all, of these amazing, hardworking people in person and through the lens of my camera. As Southfield Cable 15 employees, we have been there for the community to make the city more transparent and provide excellent local TV programming to assist Southfield businesses, schools, organizations, and its citizens. Most importantly, though, we capture the smiles, the uplifting moments, the tears of joy, the happiness, and most of all, the positive growth that is here in the city. And we are also, and the Southfield employees are doing something right. This is proof that the Southfield employees are doing something right. We are doing something positive, and we are doing what matters most.
I'm sorry, but you've gone way over your time.
Oh.
Can you conclude?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Real quickly.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
She didn't go over 3 minutes. She didn't go over 3 minutes. One second. She did not go over 3 minutes. Sarah?
Mr. J.B. Wood?
She did not go over. Yeah.
Madam Chair, council members, Mayor Fracassi, officials, employees, and citizens, I thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is David Ewick. I live at 25128 Larkin Street, Southfield, Michigan, 48033. I am also a member of the city's employees as serving as your city librarian. I wanted to make a statement that is not on my notes. I think in honor or in light of full disclosure, I need to tell everyone that the library did put $250,000 toward the purchase of the artwork from the Northland. So half of the money that went to buy that art came from us, and it came from our gift funds. And those are not tax dollars at all, they are gift funds. Specifically, they came from the, anyway, probably Quest. And the Friends of the Library also put up $50,000. So we did try to chip in on that. But really, I came here to report on the Southfield Public Library's financial picture over the past several years. I've been told that in previous meetings, the library budgets, it was noted that the library's budgets have been in deficit for several years. I have a single-page handout that I will give to you that shows that indeed, while our budgets for the past several years have been in deficit, our actual spending has not been so, except for the year of 2011, where we saw an unprecedented almost 25% drop in tax revenue from the year previously. That year, we took out a fund balance. I note that we would have been in deficit in 2014, except that we were able to restructure the debt on our building. This was due, and we would have been in trouble had that not been so, and that was due to some large capital projects, which were one-time expenditures from our operating budget. Our number one job right now at the library is we are trying to restore the hours that we had to cut. We did that out of financial responsibility. We want to be fiscally responsible to our citizens, but we want to provide the best services that we can. We pledge in the future to reduce the size of our budgets, the ones that we submit, so that they will hopefully reflect actual spending more closely. And we are working on ways that we could possibly restore some of the hours, but we know that we cannot afford to do it all immediately. So it will have to be done in phases, not all at once. We know that it will still be some years before we can restore all the hours that were cut. I thank everyone for their patience and their time. Thank you.
All right, we have some additional names. Miss Uni Rose.
Good evening, I am Uni Rose. I live at 26477 Franklin Point Drive, Southfield, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, my husband, daughter, and I came to Southfield in 1972 when he became cantor educator of Temple Emmanuel in Oak Park. We were encouraged to settle in Southfield, and we have never regretted our decision. Our daughter flourished in the schools and is now a professor of performance studies at Villanova University. Yay, Southfield schools. Now for the bad stuff. We now find ourselves in the midst of an election campaign that has turned ugly and mean and destructive. We're not sure who put this thing together, but who is causing all the mayhem, we're really not sure. But I prefer not to name names until such time as evidence is put forth by our police department. However, we do know something. We know that these folks are using all the dirty tricks in political handbook, including the criminal acts of defacing and destroying an opponent's signs and dropping horrific racial and homophobic flyers throughout the city in order to divide the people of Southfield and win this election any way they can. What they do not know is that we Southfielders are not stupid. We know when we're being deceived. We know blatant lies when we hear them. We know that the aforesaid defacing and destroying an opponent's signs and dropping horribly offensive flyers is a desperate attempt to win, and we won't stand for it. And most important of all, we will not be intimidated. Those who would divide our city will come to realize that their tactics will not work. We will stand together as a community, and we will survive this assault. Thank you.
The next individual is requested to speak, Ms. Lori Penn. Is she here?
My name is Lori Penn, and I live at 29852 Spring Hill Drive. I should like to speak to the denigration and discourtesy shown to the superintendent of the Southfield Public Schools, Dr. Linda Wood. Councilperson Jordan stated at a public forum that Dr. Wood was in over her head. How does she know this? How does she presume to say that a retired assistant superintendent of the Southfield Public Schools left the schools in shambles? Neither statement is true. These comments are from a person who chose not to send her children to the Southfield Public Schools and take advantage of the excellent opportunities afforded our youth. She did not provide the advantages of the International Baccalaureate programs, advanced courses, and the many music groups and exceptional clubs and activities. The students who have this advantage in the Southfield Public Schools will receive an exceptional education. This is the individual who said during a previous election cycle that she did not care about the schools because she had her own school. Earlier this year, I was given an opportunity to serve on the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Southfield Public Schools. I met Dr. Wood. Dr. Wood has a doctorate from Wayne State. She has earned many national and regional awards. She has also been published. She has prepared for her role since entering the education field over 25 years ago and has spent 18 years at Southfield Public Schools. She worked closely with Dr. Cook Robinson for nearly 10 years in the district. In no way is she over her head. She is a woman of great determination, of great faith, and very strong convictions for the success of the Southfield Public Schools. Have you read the latest edition of Know Your Schools? Everyone in this city should. How proud you would be. In the last 9 years, there have been 3 citizens task forces that have been impaneled to evaluate and make recommendations for the future of our schools. This is an ongoing process. All 3 of my children went through Southfield schools. They all are well employed and have professional degrees. This is our community, what's going on. There's never been this degree of hostility and distress in the 44 years I've lived in Southfield. Please remember that we have a weak mayor, strong council form of government. The mayor does not issue orders nor make policy. The mayor represents what is good in the city and cannot vote, as Mr. Fracassi has frequently stated. Please, whoever decided that nasty and bullying is good, stop. It does not belong in Southfield, and it is not good.
The next person that's requested to speak is Ms. Vicki Collins. Is she arrives? Please give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Vicki Collins. I live at 23685 Somerset Trail, Southfield. I am a 28-year resident of Southfield. This is the first council meeting that I've been to. And first of all, I would like to tell you, I love this city. I love what you've done. I think you've had special events and big changes like the ribbon cutting today, and I'm surprised that hasn't come up. As a resident, I am interested and concerned with a lot of things that I haven't heard talked about today. Attracting new business to the city, making sure that our communities grow. And to me, as I come to the council meeting, I would like to hear a lot about those conversations. Haven't heard them today. I support our acting council president, Mrs. Jordan, I support what she's done, the decisions that she makes, and I support her as a future leader of this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Kimberly Gillings. Is she present?
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Kimberly Reese Gillings, 28570 Tavistock Trail, Southfield, Michigan, 48034. I am a 17-year resident of the city of Southfield, and I am proud to be here in this city. My children, all three, which are now 25, 24, and 23, have gone and graduated from the schools here in Southfield. So I feel honored and privileged to address this council on this evening. I am an active citizen and a concerned citizen. And my reason for being here on today, I keep myself abreast by watching the city council meetings on the cable station, and consequently, I am just applaud of the different things that I hear on the meetings. And I wanted to stand here. It's always easy to criticize, to critique, and to correct people. However, I stand today to commend, celebrate, to let you city council members and the mayor know that you're doing an excellent job. Also feel that we can use our energies and our resources to help the community by working hard to assist the council rather than to condemn them. I solicit the support of the people in the audience. If you choose to be a help to the city council persons here, that you would do so by laboring and making our city better. Again, I commend you, want to let you know that I'm pleased and that you have the heart of the citizens here in the city of Southfield, that you help others and you uphold this great city. Thanks again for the opportunity and have a good evening.
Thank you. The next person is, I think it's gentleman Cornelius Hicks. Cornelius Hicks. Oh.
Hello everybody, my name is Cornelius Hicks. I live on 27339 Lexington Parkway. My first residence is in Southfield. I'm a new homeowner. I just want to say thank you. I heard a lot about the library. And the library is the reason why I moved to the city of Southfield. I was going through a phase of my life I was trying to reinvent myself. And the library offered a lot of resources, a lot of tools to get yourself back on track for us employment-wise. I just want to give a shout out to the library and say thank you guys for all your hard work you do. And I appreciate you. The council, you guys are doing great. I feel like I'm the next generation of Southfield. I just want to say thank you for you guys trying to do it and keep everything going. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That concludes the communication portion of our agenda.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem Ms. Seymour. We'll move to the next item on our agenda is the council portion. Council, ready?
Thank you.
Mr. Frazier.
On Wednesday, the 21st, from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock, there's an event that is the second time that it's been done here in Southfield, and it's the brainchild of our new police chief, who's not so new anymore, but our police chief, Eric Hawkins, and it's Coffee with a Cop. It's an unstructured meeting where you can drop in, talk to the police officers, have a cup of coffee, And it's over at Tim Hortons across the street, 25203 Evergreen Road. The first one that we had was over on the Tim Hortons on Greenfield at 12 Mile, and it was packed. And it was a wonderful opportunity for citizens to come in and talk about things that concern them in their neighborhood, get stuff off their chest, learn more about how the police officers do their job, learn about the police department. But the thing that I appreciate about our new police chief is the fact that he's breaking down the barriers that seem to be between the community and the police department in some communities. I don't think we've ever had a barrier here in the city of Southfield, but he's making sure that we don't have a barrier by having the transparency of allowing not allowing, but having the citizens meet directly with the police officers in a non-stressful situation. Every once in a while you get to meet one-on-one. It's sort of a stressing situation. But this is an opportunity in a non-stressful situation to have a cup of coffee, talk with the police officer, and just get to know them. When you start putting names with faces, sometimes the barriers go away. And this is an opportunity, and take advantage of it Wednesday from 4 to 6 at Tim Hortons across the street from the City Hall here on Evergreen. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bruce. Excuse me, we're not going to have outbursts in the audience. If it happens again, we'll take a recess and you'll be removed. Let's take a 3-minute recess. We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Jordan. I did want to say, since I was sitting here this evening and listening to many of the comments today, I was thinking of many of you all know I teach political science at Oakland Community College, and I always encourage my students to get involved in their communities and be actively engaged. And clearly this evening we have had a good number of concerned residents that have brought a number of great issues before us. And so I'd just like to commend and thank everybody for doing that and for helping us as a council pretty much, set the agenda for ourselves moving forward. I mean, we're hearing, the purpose of us here to be here is to represent you and your voices. And so I think that today, and as we do at most council meetings, but particularly today, I think there are a lot of things that, given the fact that we will have a new council coming very shortly, that we have a good opportunity for some new folks and some that have been here as well to address these issues on behalf of the city. One of the things though that I did want to just say as it relates to the contracts with the city employees, I just want all the city employees to know that they are appreciated. I know it may not feel that way sometimes, especially when you're in the midst of negotiations, and those types of things are just never easy. I've been on both sides of that ledger as an administrator, negotiating contracts, and I think that you are never going to get to a point where you get everything you want, but I think everybody has to be able to at some point walk away somewhat mutually dissatisfied, if you will. Both sides do. And so I hope that both sides are negotiating and operating in good faith. I want you to know that I do, and I believe all my colleagues have spoken highly about the fact that we want to see this negotiated and finished up as soon as possible. And because, I know what it can do for employees as it relates to morale, productivity in the workplace, and just having a certain sense of job security for folks is important. So again, just know that we're here for you. We're here to support you as best as we can. But everybody has to give a little in these negotiations, and I hope that again that both sides are acting in that manner. So again, thank you again, and hope everybody has a good night.
Anyone else? Yes. Mr. Mandelbaum.
At our last meeting, we were told that our city calendar won first place for the 2015 calendar. I know that they are currently accepting calendar ads that help defray from the cost of printing. The deadline is running out. It'd be a great time for some Southfield businesses to put their mark in the calendar, which gets delivered to every address in the city. You can call the Community Relations Department, 796-5130 for an ad link, and they will be happy to send you one. I also wanted to remind everyone that as we get into the winter season or the fall season, the leaves tend to fall on the ground. Leaf pickup must be done in bags. You cannot rake them into the street. They have to clean your yards, and make them look presentable. Leaf bags are available at City Hall as well for a small fee, usually cheaper than some of the main stores. Also, I know at our last meeting we talked about the recycling and the trash pickup, and in planning for next season with the parks, I would like to make a recommendation that we look at having recycling receptacles placed in some of our city parks. Helps the environment, it helps some of the litter, and I think it would be a great addition to some of the city parks. And just remind everyone that on November 3rd, we do have an election, and I'm sure that our city clerk, Ms. Biggs, will talk more about those details.
Okay, anyone else on the council portion who wishes to speak? Mr.
Yes. I had to think twice before I was thought to say something, but I am back, and I'm going to do my best to make this city the greatest city that we have now. That's all I'm going to say, but I'm back. Thank you.
All right, any other council persons? I have a few words here. This is my last televised meeting as a councilwoman, and it has been an honor to serve the city, this community, the residents, and the businesses alike. Elected in 1997, the same time with my colleague, Mr. Myron Frazier, and U.S. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, has been a great journey. Since being on the city council, myself and other colleagues, we have seen Southfield go through many challenges, and recently just the rebirth of Southfield in the last few years. And I jotted down just a few of the memories that I have serving here on city council. The CVS at 13 at Southfield Road, where we demanded that they give us a stellar-looking building. CVS at 10 Mile on Southfield Road, the Miracle League, the Target on Southfield Road, the Youth Center Field Zone, the grand opening of the Lear Corporation, the closing and the redevelopment of Tel 12 Mall, which gave us a Myers and a Best Buy, and we had a great ribbon cutting there. Recently, the redevelopment of Applebee's, the approval of the $99 million road millage, and we're now seeing the impact of that now. And even now with the expectancy of Northland and the redevelopment of the mall, and even having the city purchase the 8 acres directly across the street from City Hall that will soon be developed. It's an exciting time to be here in the city of Southfield. And even tonight, we cut the ribbons for Evergreen Road, which was a $12 million project that our previous city administrator worked so diligently on. And that was really a great event for those who had an opportunity to attend. And since being on council, I've worked with 5 city administrators. That's a journey, and it's been a pleasure working with you, Mr. Zorn. We've had 2 mayors, Mr. Fracassi, as well as Mayor Lawrence, learning from them both to move Southfield forward. And since being on council personally, my children have graduated from high school here in Southfield, attended college, graduated, married. My daughter Lillian was in the paper a couple weeks ago, first granddaughter. My mother went to heaven for the journey. Southfield's elected officials, administration, and employees, all the employees, work very hard in this community, serving this community, and making the tough choices to keep Southfield moving forward. Unfortunately, everybody is not happy at that, those decisions that we make. However, the goal in mind is to keep Southfield a premier city in this region. And I want to talk a little bit about some issues that have come up personally to me this evening. And when I started my council presidency this year, I made a comment to one of the individuals in the audience, and I said there is obviously a smear campaign against me and my name, and that has definitely happened over this last year. But in relationship to the racial flyers that were circulated in the city, we have a police department, so if there's anyone with any information, they should take it directly to the police department, who have all the investigative tools to investigate this matter. No one on my campaign, associated with my campaign, had anything to do with these flyers. Nor did we have anything to do with the destruction of my opponent's flyers. As I said in the newspapers, destruction of campaign stuff it's part of the game. I've worked with Mr. Seidler for a number of years being on city council. We agreed on many issues, and there's some issues that we disagree on. However, I do believe that we agree that there should not be any racial divide in the city. I will again reiterate that I, or anyone on my campaign, had anything to do with those flyers or damaging of another person's campaign posters. It's been a great journey. I look forward to the voters deciding who they want to select as the next mayor of the city of Southfield. It's been a great city to work for. Southfield is really a premier city. We've had a lot of exciting things happen over this year and even in the years to come. So again, the voters will best decide who is Southfield mayor. And I really would encourage those from this day forward, when you come to the podium, come with some solutions and some suggestions. You know, everybody in this, on this council works very, very diligently. And it's easy for a person to pick out and say what somebody else is not doing. So I encourage you to step up to the plate. You decide to run. You decide to get involved in the political process and bring solutions and not just point out problems. But then again, it's been great serving this city as a councilwoman, and thank you very much. Now we'll move to the mayor's portion of it. Sure.
I just want to say, Councilwoman Jordan, that I have enjoyed working with you more than you can imagine. We have become friends. I really have appreciated so many things about you. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm sure we will continue our friendship. But you've been, I think, an excellent council president. You've learned so much, you've grown so much. The things that you have in your head now, I'm amazed. I really am. I'm very proud to call you my friend, and I think you've done an excellent, excellent job as council president, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move to the mayor's portion of the agenda.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Frazier.
I move that we approve the expense report for Mayor Fracassi for attending the Michigan Municipal League Convention in Traverse City, Michigan.
We have a motion by Mr. Frazier, supported by Ms. Seymour, to approve the expense report of Mayor Fracassi. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chairman, I would just like to speak to maybe answering some of our employees and letting residents who heard some of our employees speak to get an understanding of where the city has been and where we're at. Not giving a full description of history, but I think it's important that we just don't let it sit without at least showing my opinion of the times and changes of times in the city. I think the and negotiations are not in the, we'll see at the end, we vote up or down, or whatever the negotiators come up with, and ratify the contracts. But getting there is their job. And I would urge the board of directors to look at the comments that and offers and vote for or against it. But I wanted to kind of put things in perspective. You know, things changed when we had 2008. Nancy knows that, yes, we had awards, we gave things, you went in the catalog, and if you were 10 years with the city, you look at the catalog and pick out a gift, and had a nice luncheon at Plum Hollow for all the employees when they're getting the awards. Irrespective of some of the changes that occurred, I don't think that anyone, administration, staff people, elected officials, ever thought that our employees were not giving the most and the best. And it was reflected in the way that citizens looked at the city, that we're a great city, we were a pickup, great police department, fire department, code. Could do better in some cases, but for the most part, we were on top of the game. In 2008 hit, I don't think individuals, you know, even though we had a budget hearing each July, 1st is our beginning of the year, but prior to that, we have a hearing on the budget. Everybody is allowed to comment. We try to answer all questions. We even do a TV explanation of the budget. We try to be as transparent as we possibly can. I think that when you look at what happened during that period after 2008, when the city's value went down from something like 3.7 down to 2.3, value of the city went down almost $1 billion. Property values went through the floor. Commercial went through the floor. Office buildings, we're asking for 40% off on their appeals, and you're getting it from the state. And in all, you know, we had 240 people less to run the city with. And not only that, but we had promised ourselves that nobody would be laid off. And that was important to our former administrator, and he kept repeating it, that we're not going to add to the unemployment lines. We're going to try to keep everyone with a job. And we did. And we did. Those who were out by attrition, those people who found someplace else to work, whatever, but we went on without a layoff. And very few corporations did that. And not only that, but there were different laws passed by the state that had a definite effect on the city. We were getting less money from the state. Grants were down. There were many, many things that were happening. Personal property tax was gone. If you had $80,000 worth of inventory, you no longer had to pay a personal property tax. These appeals kept coming in. We even had, millions of dollars set aside whether or not we could afford to pay off and keep the budget sound, because the appeals were just coming in at a higher rate. And we went through it. Even our auditors, looked at Southfield and really didn't think we were going to make it. With the help of the citizenry, they bought into the fact that they still had believed that the city was going to make it. It passed 5 mills for public safety, $99 million for a road, and especially that 5 mills for public safety, really, when you've seen if it did not go through, we were going to be on our knees. And it's not citing that what was going to happen. It was desperation time. And we made it through those tough times. But we still aren't out of the woods. And it's interesting that I didn't have my keys with me in my office this afternoon, and I had a call for help, and the young lady came up to the office and opened up the door, and it was an employee, and we were talking. All of a sudden, you know, I heard the same thing we heard this evening, that you know, they were hurting, and we didn't get a raise, and just happened to have this document on my desk that just came through from the state tax commission. And I don't know, maybe council has heard about it or not, maybe it's new, but our consumer index is one thing, and 5% is our cap. So in other words, the revenue that we can spread, the multiplier is last year was 1.47, something like that. But this year, and I showed this young lady, I said, read this. It's 3/10 is what we've got to live on. 3/10. I mean, that is, you know, with proposal A and Headley, boy, that just kills our revenue stream, period. And our assessor mentioned it in his letter that this is really going to hurt us down the road. So there's many things that I guess we don't have the time to explain all these things that are getting us financially. But I think that, you know, not trying to pat it back in any way, but you know, the team that has been running the city since 2008 and made the city survive all the things that we were hit by is one of those things that can't normally be handled. Usually they'd be under some kind of an emergency manager takeover. So I just say that because, you know, I feel real bad. I think our employees have always put out, and I really sat here and we're seeing our employees talk about things. I said, how do we get to them and really explain what this total operation is? I mean, you know, when you mention Northland and what we put out in Northland, you know, Macy's was $1 billion value, and it was given to the cities to help us out. So, you know, we gained $1 billion with that gift. When they talk about the boy and the bear, there's what, some 20-some pieces. The boy and the bear is probably worth twice as much as we paid for it. But these things were to protect the city. It wasn't to spend money. I mean, what would happen, you've seen some of the uses that we were presented with. One was a correction facility these Californians want to put in. Others were flea markets. I think the city made the right choice and tried to do what they thought would be protecting the city. And protecting the values of those people who live here and work here. So I hear these comments, and I just wish I had a way of taking one by one and just kind of going through and saying, you know, what would you do? Look at the pension liabilities that we have, and how do you deal with that? And the health insurance and free prescriptions and those things that we have, that we historically have given, and now it becomes, you know, everybody knows what their health insurance is like today. You know, it's crazy. And so, anyway, I just thought I would just kind of talk, maybe to satisfy myself that hearing what I heard this evening kind of hurt. You know, I think that somehow we've got to press upon our employees maybe more that they are really should be proud that they're here working, and we should be proud of the work that they do. So anyways, that's just my comment. I think I just had to say it for my own good. The other thing is I was really thrilled about the ribbon cutting today. That was really a fantastic thing. This Evergreen Road looks beautiful. The event this evening was really nice, and nice turnout. I hope that everybody made the circles without an accident. But I mentioned, I mentioned in that my little speech that I read in the Wall Street Journal that in France they have 40,000 roundabouts, and they approve 600 to 800 a day. So my two little roundabouts will make it, I think. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who had anything to do with the little get together for the ribbon cutting, and all those who worked on the road. It was a tough one over 2 years, but I think that we're all very proud when we drive down Evergreen Road that it's here in front of City Hall and in the city of Southfield. So that's my comments for this evening.
All right, thank you. Mr. Administrator, do you have anything to say?
Yes, if I may, Madam President. I too would like to thank the community for their patience during this construction season. It's been a very aggressive construction season, one of the strongest, I'm convinced the strongest in all of Oakland County. No other community has made the level of public investment. We've yet to find anyone who's even near, whether it's water, sewer, and roads. We had, as Mayor Ficassi has mentioned, tonight we had a ceremonial cutting of the ribbon for Evergreen Road. We're very pleased. Some point before Thanksgiving, we'll have one for Providence Drive on the east side of town. We're planning an aggressive schedule for next year as well to continue that investment. To our community, the investment in our infrastructure is paying off. And 6.5 years ago, when we approved the original plan for Evergreen Road, the Travelers Towers 1 and 2 buildings were sitting practically empty. And we know that they will be at full capacity at the end of this year. So we've seen that investment drive where the public investment is driving private investment, and I'm pleased with that. And that touches right on Mayor Ficassi's comments about the need to continue to grow our tax base. That is part of our strategy. There were some comments made earlier, the parcel across the street. We could have let the marketplace play that out and probably have gotten about $15 million in investment. If we worked that strategy correctly, we could see $100 million plus in investment. The item that will be in front of you most recently pertains to Northland, and it's the same type of thing. We can look at a piece of property and let it be blighted for Summit Law, 10 plus years, do nothing or empower ourselves. I do want to comment, the last couple of meetings have been somewhat frustrating as we hear the issues pertaining to employee compensation. As Treasurer Lohenberg pointed out at the last meeting, we were one of the few communities that laid no one off. We burned through in excess of $10 million worth of fund balance to stay afloat during that period. So we're in a period where we're rebuilding that. I believe most of you saw the email from our assessor. The state is our tax base will only be going up by 0.3%. Many of our residents, to their chagrin, have seen the Social Security notice, no increase there. So we've got some challenges for us, and we'll continue to work our way through that. I would like to correct a statement I made at the last Committee of the Whole. There was a discussion about budgeted numbers, and I want to be clear, and I think on a number of occasions I have made this statement. Both the library and the Parks and Rec have budgets that are, as they are adopted, have them utilizing fund balance. It should be noted that both the library and Parks and Rec each year have beat those numbers. Sometimes they do go into their fund balance, sometimes they're operating in the black. I have preliminary numbers for the library at June 30th of 15. They had a slight increase in their fund balance, but that should be noted that that is largely due to the refinancing of the library, that they only paid interest on the debt, and they were relieved of about $800,000 in principal. I want to comment on the art. We had a very productive meeting with City Council and the Arts Commission about the strategy of the art. As Mayor Fracassi noted, we bought multiple pieces of art. I believe the number is 10 pieces of art, well in excess of the $500,000 price we paid. In fact, we do have a very generous standing offer for one piece of art. Things like the 30 benches we bought, those benches are about $3,500 a piece. So we got about 120,000 in benches, Pegasus, the whale, the lady in the fruit basket, the Michigan piece, the crowd. We added a substantial amount. As our librarian, Mr. Ewick, pointed out, we have a commitment of $250,000 from the Miller Trust Fund, which the library board has approved, and then the Friends of the Library has committed $50,000. The Public Arts Commission has been charged by ordinance to mount a fundraising campaign. So we're about halfway there with the value of what we need to raise to pay back the LERF loan, facilitate, cover the cost of moving and installation. And I feel confident in the next few months that campaign will come together. I also want to make comment, I'm sorry, misplaced my point. As an organization, we do value our employees. I thought Sarah's comments from cable were right on line, because she does have a neat job. She gets to go out and see all the wonderful things happen in this community. And I think all of us know that that doesn't happen with employees. We have some needs relative to our long-term capital needs. I've said that repeatedly, as well as our equipment needs. There are certain things that we haven't started putting together, but it's a delicate balance between the compensation, the equipment needs, and I believe we're working a fairly good strategy. And I think the best strategy you're doing is what you're investing in your public infrastructure. Things we don't talk about a lot. Water main breaks are 1/10 of what they were. Every water main break was running us in excess of 30,000. Only a few years ago, you had in excess of 70. This year, you probably won't even have 10. So just the investment we're making is paying back, keeping our water rates in line, protecting our property values. I'd like to talk about every homeowner owns about, per linear foot, about $450 to $500 worth of infrastructure. If you got a 100-foot lot, you got about 50,000 of infrastructure. If we were to go in, replace your streets, rebuild your water and your sewer, and the city's 57 years old. A lot of that's been fully depreciated. So the strategy we've embarked on is about reinvesting in that, protecting the values of our homes. And we're seeing our home values come back as well. They're still not where they were prior to 108, when we were hitting 135 to 165 a square foot. But I believe this strategy, the tide is rising for our homeowners and our stakeholders. Thank you.
And I think you hit it there in terms of the delicate balance. We have to definitely grow our tax base. And yet at the same time, we are going to listen to the needs. We hear the concerns of the employees. So they're not, trust me, they're not falling on deaf ears. We're taking those into full consideration to see when some relief can be given. So just be patient with us a little bit longer. All right, let's move to the attorney's portion of the agenda. And that's the proposed purchase agreement of Northland Hall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have before you the purchase agreement for the Northland property for final approval tonight. It is, I'm just going to hit some of the high points. Just going to hit some of the high points for $2.4 million. The closing will not take place before December 15th, but must be completed by December 18th. The seller owes the city a title commitment. The property will be transferred free of any liens. Macy's building is included in the purchase agreement. The tax appeal has been settled and the city will receive a $200,000 credit to the refund owed. The city's outstanding water bill will be paid. Are there any questions?
Council, are there any questions? We will entertain a motion at this time.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Frazier.
I move that we act on purchase agreement for Northland Mall and the Northland Mall property and pay the $2.4 million that we agreed with contingencies that are outlined in the cover letter.
We have a motion by Mr. Frazier, supported by Ms. Seymour, to accept the purchase agreement for Northland Mall property. Any questions? I think this is very significant for the city of Southfield moving forward. It's great that we're going to own that mall and give us an opportunity for redevelopment and grow our tax base and put a prime development at the corner of the gateway of the city. So this is just great. Mr. Frazier.
Yeah, the one thing that I know a lot of people are saying that, well, you say you don't have the money and yet you pay $2.4 million for the Northland Mall property. You have to understand, I believe, at least it would be nice if you understood that purchasing of this property gives us control of what goes into that 110 acre piece of property. And as the mayor had said earlier, that one of the proposals from an outfit in California was to build a correctional building over there. It was kind of like a halfway house for people in between coming back from prison and being released. Now, I'm not sure about other people, but that is not my idea of the kind of gateway that we want our city to have. And the reason we bought that is to protect the city's value and to make sure that we're sound as we go forward. We're going to have a team of people that will determine how what the new use of that property is going to be once the property is torn down and cleared. But for those employees that are concerned about their raises, and they should be, no one wants to go to the day old bread store to buy bread when you have to drive by the grocery store to buy fresh bread. So they should be concerned. But this purchase is to help the city, the value of our city as we go from year to year down the road. And I want you to keep that in mind and don't single that out as one little thing. Well, you paid $2.4 million, therefore you should have taken that $2.4 million to give me a raise. It'll all work out. And I think it'll work out to the benefit of everyone. So that's why I made the motion and I approve of us spending the $2.4 million for the property at Northland.
So we have a motion by Mr. Frazier, supported by Ms. Seymour. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. We have two ordinances to adopt at this time.
We have the clerk's portion.
Okay, please. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. I would just like to remind everyone that in 2 weeks, we will have an election on Tuesday, November 3rd. If you are not going to be in town on election day, please stop by the city clerk's office to obtain an absentee ballot. You can also go on our website and download an application and send your application in. The clerk's office will be open on Saturday, October 31st, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to issue and process absent voter ballots. Monday, November 2nd will be the last day that absentee ballots can be issued. Ballots cannot leave the building on this day, and we can only issue them up until 4 o'clock p.m. Anything after that time is an emergency. If you're not sure as to what's on the ballot, you can visit our website, www.cityofsouthfield.com. If you go to the clerk's portion, a copy of the ballot is on our website. Also, I encourage everyone to please read the charter proposal carefully. There is another flyer out there that I guess you could say it's a nay vote, but the information in that flyer is not true, is not accurate, and I encourage each and every voter to please look at the facts when it comes to voting with this election. We are only asking the voters to make a decision on a city primary election. It has nothing to do with the presidential election. It has nothing to do with the congressional election. Those are state and federal elections, and we will always have a primary for those two. You can always call the clerk's office, 248-796-5150. If you have any questions, we also have fact sheets on our website and at our counter. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier.
Yes. It's been brought to my attention by some residents that they applied for an absentee ballot and they didn't get it. I would defer to our city clerk about, have all of the absentee ballots been mailed?
Yes, thank you, and that is a great question. I'm just looking something up right now on my phone. Hold on, please. The other day I went to the post office because I've also been receiving the telephone calls, and I sat there 1.5 hours. I said I was not leaving until I spoke to the postmaster. She finally had a few minutes to meet with me, and I explained that some people have not received their absentee ballots. Also, they have not received the Southfield newsletter, or the Southfield, the election newsletter that we sent out, and I was disappointed. And she promised that she would check the post office. She did state that she felt there was a problem with the processing center in Pontiac. I felt that was not a good excuse. I do have a phone number. I guess the post office does have a new phone number, and I would like to give that to anyone who has not received their ballot. And that phone number is 248-368-2977. If you have not received your ballot, please contact the post office. Or I'm recommending that people come into our office. We will spoil your ballot at that time, issue you another ballot, and you can vote at City Hall and deposit your vote into the canister. Thank you.
Mr. Vance.
Yes, the clerk mentioned the primary that's up for election, up for vote this time. I believe this should be postponed. The people should not vote for eliminate the primary. The primary has a very, very important action for the people. If you're trying to save money, you're not saving money the right way. So I think we should think twice before we eliminate the primaries. We're going to cause a lot of damage to our city if we do.
Okay. Mr. Mandelbaum, you look like you're ready to jump out your seat.
Okay, Nancy. No, I wanted to move that we enact ordinance number 1646.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Mandelbaum, supported by Mr. Frazier to enact ordinance 1646. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mandelbaum.
I move that we enact ordinance number 1647.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Mandelbaum, supported by Mr. Cruz to enact.
President, I have something to say about what's the number 1647. I think that ordinance, I think we should postpone it. It's wrong to pass the ordinance to prohibit the small business people from putting signs in their windows. That's their life right here, the signs in the windows. If we eliminate that, you're going to ruin plenty of small businesses. I think you should think twice about that, take it back to the council and change your minds. If you pass this ordinance, you are going to ruin a lot of small businesses. Here we're trying to elevate them and make them big business. You're not going to do it. You're going to lose their customers. You got to think twice.
Okay, well, we do have a motion by
I
Mr.
would make a motion to postpone this one. The council think about it again.
Yeah, we have a motion to postpone by Mr. Lance. Is there support? Don't have a support, so the motion stands by Mr. Mandelbaum, supported by Mr. Cruz, to enact ordinance 1647. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I do have one question, Mr. Zorn, and this has to do with a business, and I did not get the name of the business, and it's on 12 Mile between Telegraph and Northwestern, right across from the CVS. They had decorated lights all around the windows, and they were pretty bright. And I'll get the name of the business for you. You can just check into that and make sure that they're in compliance with our ordinance. All right, any other items to report to council this evening? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.